Well, hello. Nobody's watching these videos, but I'm going to keep making them anyway. I'm going to also remove my glasses because of the glare. Although I can't see anything without them. I don't see very well, but anyhow. I was so excited on Thanksgiving Day and grateful. And let me give you a little bit of background on this situation. Originally, I did have a job. On the 6th of November, I was supposed to start. And after 2 days of thinking about it, I read the handbook, and I thought, this place really treats their employees bad. So, I don't think I can work there. And then, after sitting in that for 2 weeks and still not finding a job, and I started doing these videos, and I was trying to keep a positive attitude about the whole thing. Because I have a lot of faith. But anyhow, so I turned down that job. And then on my way to town, after a very, very cold weekend, because I've come to the realization that I'm just too old to live this way. So, okay, I need work to be able to get out of the cold. And I've been doing this a long time. I know what it takes. Anyhow, I'm done settling and I want to thrive. And so to do that, I needed a job. So I thought, okay, I had to talk with God all the way to town and decided, okay, I'm going to humble myself and I'm going to go into this place. Even though I turned this job down over the phone, I'm going to go in here and humble myself and ask if she maybe could still use me, still give me a chance. And I walk in and I ask for this lady by name. And the people that are working there tell me, oh, she quit a few days ago. And I thought, okay, well, everything happens for a reason, so I'm going to reapply, I guess. And I thought, well, that's a blessing in disguise, God's given me a reprieve for a mistake that I made. So I get an interview. It goes well. They tell me to come back. Second interview. It went well. I got hired. I worked Friday and Saturday, the 2 days right after Thanksgiving. And I won't say any names, but it's a thrift store. Okay, now I love thrifting. I thought I would fit right in, and I have retail experience. So I thought I can do this, even though they only give you one 30-minute break all day long. So you're on your feet for a solid 8 hours, and I'm not used to that kind of stuff anymore. But I got to humble myself. I got to do this. I got to do this. So the first day, I wasn't there like a full day. So it wasn't all that bad. I was just in a corner all by myself. I did as much as I could. Using my own experience. It's not that hard. And they were pretty surprised and impressed that I worked that fast. Well, I've done it before. I unloaded trucks for a retail company and sorted stuff out and hung clothes for a good 1.5 years. So I know how to do it. The second day, I go in and they say, well, we want you to tag stuff today. And so a very sweet young lady is told to teach me, and I listen, and I'm listening to her, and I'm just asking questions, trying to do the job. But I said to her, don't you feel bad about putting those high prices on free clothing? I mean, this is a thrift store. It doesn't seem too thrifty to be charging $14.99 for a shirt. And she said, well, you got to go by the brand name. And if it's not listed in here, then you have to look it up. Although you're not allowed to be on your phone. But if you're looking up things to put higher prices on stuff, it's okay. So, anyway, all day long, my gut is just turning. Because I'm one of those people that like to shop at thrift stores. Okay, I like it because you never know what you're going to find. Okay, that's what I find intriguing about it. But it also gives me the feeling of being able to go shopping even though I don't have a lot of money to do so. Right? What woman doesn't like to shop? Anyway, I didn't feel good about it. I mean, all day long, my gut's turning, and I'm thinking, this place is robbing poor people. Just robbing them. Robbing them. And even the stuff, because they're religious-based, church-based, whatever, there's certain things that they won't put on the floor if they say stuff, you know, or certain pictures if they're offensive or whatever, whether they're t-shirts, sweatshirts, whatever. And, you know, I mean, if you don't have a lot of money and you're working for them, which they don't pay very much anyway. And so I'm thinking, well, what about the stuff that's going in that container that can't be put on the floor? What do they do with that? And she goes, well, employees used to be able to buy it for 99 cents a pound, but it's not that way anymore. I'm not sure what they charge. And so another new girl decides to ask if she could buy this sweatshirt. She's also living in a similar situation as me, so it's cold, you know. A good hoodie is good to have. But because of what it said, they couldn't sell it. So she set it aside, and she thought, at the end of the day, she thought she would go purchase it. She thought it was going to be 99 cents, is what the lady in the back room said. And she goes up front, and the manager prices it at $6.99. This is something they cannot sell, and something that was going to get thrown away. But because someone that's an employee wanted to buy it, they're going to rape her too. She said, no, I'll change my mind. I can't. Because she didn't have the money to buy it. She just only started working just like me. So, and then later on they tell her, well, we're not going to let employees buy that stuff at all. Because she asked about something else. And was still shocked by what the price they gave her for it. It was a t-shirt or something. And then they decided, well, we're not. And they have a living handbook, which means it can change at any moment. Any moment. But I humbled myself and I went here. And I worked anyway because I got to work. I need to get my teeth pulled. Okay? I had to ask for a second prescription of antibiotics. I have an infection going on. I got to get them pulled. Anyway, so I'm out there, I'm working, I'm doing it. I even prayed about it all weekend because I came home fuming. Now, here's why I came home fuming. It wasn't just the fact that I was putting very high prices on things that are being sold to poor people. Okay? But, you know, who's to say that all that money's going to charity? You don't really know, do you? Just because they say they're nonprofit doesn't mean that they aren't nonprofit, right? But I'm there and I'm humbling myself. I got to work. I need to earn money. I know this. But all day long, my gut is just telling me this is not right. This is not right. I mean, to put $14.99 on a kid's coat, okay? Those, obviously, they're shopping at a thrift store to save money to be able to clothe their families. Why would you put that kind of price on a coat that's used? And that was freely given to you. I fail to understand. Anyway, I go and I have a conversation with the other new person because I already knew her. And she tells me a little story about some appliances that came in the day before. And they told her to throw them away because they were too dirty. And on her way to the dumpster, they chased her down with a pair of scissors to cut the cords. And she asked her, well, why'd you do that? And she said, Well, that is so the homeless folks around here don't dumpster dive from our dumpster. Okay, this really pissed me off. I watch dumpster divers all the time. It amazes me how much waste there is in this world. And, you know, whether they're saving it from the landfill, having garage sales with it, whatever they're doing with it, it doesn't matter. It was discarded. Okay? It was discarded. I always heard when I was growing up that one man's trash is another man's treasure. Okay? I watch Curbside Junkies. I watch people that live in New Jersey that go and pick up furniture that people throw away. You do what you got to do. I mean, it's just going to the landfill, which are over full anyway. But, mind you, going back to the thing at hand, why I was so angry after she told me that story, was one, because I got great respect for dumpster divers that are saving stuff from the landfill that people could actually use. I mean, the food that gets wasted. I watched Freaking Frugal. I guess it was maybe on Thanksgiving Day or the day before Thanksgiving, maybe the day after, I'm not sure. But it was posted, I think, on the day after Thanksgiving, and I have a whole page, 2 columns, of all the stuff, the food that got thrown away, that wasn't even out of date. Wasn't even out of date. So, anyway, the comment that they made about the dumpster divers and the homeless really hit home, and it hit hard. Because I've been struggling with homelessness, bouncing around off people. I haven't had my own place for longer than 6 months in a very long time, because I got tired of working for the man. I got tired of, it's a long story. I won't even go into it. But anyway, I know it's my own choosing. I made a lot of bad choices. But, when I worked for myself, I wasn't making a whole lot of money, but I was helping elderly people, and that made me feel good about it. I wasn't making a whole lot. I wasn't robbing them blind. I mean, when I started out, I was doing it for $10 an hour. And I continued to do it for, bless her soul, Miss Martha's dead now. But 2 years I worked for her at the same price, at $10 an hour. She was my very first customer. And I respected her. And may she rest in peace. Anyway. So I came home Saturday evening, just fuming. I haven't said anything. I need to pray about it. I journaled about it with God. I woke up this morning and said, I got to go to work today. Lord, while I'm drinking my coffee this morning, I was writing to him, and I just asked him, please help me to remain humble and work diligently and endure the day without saying anything. Because I need to do something about my mouth. And I need to make money to do that. And here was the answer to my prayer. I got a text message saying I'm not on the schedule this week. Not sure why. Going to a meeting. I will let you know later on today. Is that God doing for me what I can't do for myself? I think so. I mean, that was obviously my answer, right? Because I was going to go and humble myself and do it. And if they were to call me and say, oh, you can come back to work tomorrow, I'll go do it. But I didn't feel good about it. Because they make everybody say the Lord's Prayer before the day. Is that to ask for forgiveness for them robbing poor people every single day? Because really, that's what they were doing. They are looking stuff up on the internet to price it. stuff being sold on eBay and so on and so forth. Not a good idea. Not a good plan. And also, when they gave me my clock number, they told me that my clock number was 6 digits of my social security number. Now, what kind of place does that? And I said, that don't sound right. That can't be right. And she's like, well, don't worry. The owner of the place is a computer nerd. You're perfectly safe. That did not ease my worries either. But humbly, I went ahead and gave her the information she needed. You know. So we do. We humble ourselves to work. Because that's what we have to do in this country to make a living. But, I just don't understand. It's just really hard to do things. Trying to change your life. You're trying to, have positive thoughts. You're trying to, I'm not a church-going person, but I'm a very spiritual person. And I believe in God. And I pray every day. But I'm just saying that if you can't go out there and... I just felt like I wasn't doing a good deed. It just didn't feel right. Putting high prices on clothes that were given to them. Didn't make any sense to me, and they certainly aren't paying the employees a whole lot. So, where's all the money going? I mean, I alone in a 5.5 hour period priced like, I don't know, 350 pieces in a day. They're doing that every day. Probably a couple people a day. I don't know. Just didn't seem like much of a thrift store. So anyway, this all leads me to my purpose, I think. I actually am pretty doggone sure of it. And I'm going to keep that under my hat for a moment, because I'm going to let that ride for a minute. I've reached out to some people who I really respect, and I'm hoping to hear back from them soon. But because I've lived in some really rough situations, I have some pretty great ideas, and I'm going to take and run with them. I believe Spirit put those ideas in my head. And because I'm not putting down charity work at all. I'm not. In fact, I'm very grateful for the charity that I was able to find when I really needed help. And I may still be in that position right now, but I'm learning from it, and these are lessons I'm supposed to learn to make things better, and my ideas can do that. So I just wanted to say that, work will come when Spirit's ready to have me in the place where I'm supposed to be. I didn't feel good about it, and when they said that I wasn't on the schedule, I just kind of chuckled, because I had just prayed about that not 30 minutes prior. And I was getting dressed, getting ready to go in and do my work, even though I didn't feel good about it. Because we got to be humble. That's the American way. You gotta be a working man to make it in this world, and I know that. But, I think there's a better way to help people than what they're doing in that place. And so, the word thrift should mean exactly that. If it was freely given to them, then they should be selling it as such. Not because it has a brand name on it. That should not matter. At least if you go to Goodwill, it's a solid price down the board. Shirts this much, pants this much, so on, so on, so forth. But these people were going by brands. And, well, I think that's a computer nerd letting his knowledge go to his head, using it in the wrong way. The lessons that I have learned through my life, and just in the past couple of years, did God open my mind enough for me to see the lessons and not just be so angry and disappointed with the world that I wanted to quit. Because I'm not quitting. I don't know how to quit. I'm done being a survivor. I'm going to thrive. And yeah. Still haven't got my painting done yet. I am going to do it. I am. Seems like I might have a little time in the next day or so. It's going to be raining. Doesn't look like I'm on the schedule there, so until I get a call from somewhere else, so I'm trying not to get discouraged about this channel either. You just keep doing it. That's what Spirit keeps telling me. Just keep doing it. And so, that's what I'm doing. Like I said in the beginning of my intro video, I said, I've been called to testify. And I'm only beginning. I'm trying to get over my nervousness. I'm really working on that. And so, I appreciate everyone's patience. I'm going to go on a little nature walk today and see if I can't get me some cool, nature stuff. We'll see. Maybe I can make a short with something cool. A hawk was squawking this morning so loud. Also, right before I got that text. Yeah. I did not see him, but boy, could I hear him, and he was loud. And I wrote on my paper, is that a message? Is that hawk squawking today? Is that a message to me? And then I get that text message a little bit after that. It was just an amazing day. Connecting the dots that Spirit lays in front of me. And they may seem like mediocre little things. But, and then I get another message saying that sometimes I get loud. Sometimes I get a little too loud. And the worst thing in the world is to hush me. It makes me upset. I get a little bit louder. But we just heal at our own pace. And this is where I am. And my eyes are open. I'm seeing the signs. When I had this thought in my mind, this idea that I have, the message that I put out, and I'm just waiting for a response. And the signs come to me in one form or another that I am on the right path. It's just, Lokia said today, slow and steady wins the race. So I'm going to be slow and steady in these videos. But I'm not going to give up. The spider's still winning, but it's okay. Maybe I'll find another spider today. Who knows? Or maybe I'll see some cool birds. Avid bird watcher here. Did have a wren eaten out of my feeder again today. And a cardinal. Yay! They're slowly coming. They need to tell all their little birdie friends because I love watching them eat. Well, everybody have a great day. Thanks for listening. And, let's make charity in this world real charity. That is my special advice for today. Everyone, don't give up. Don't ever give up. Now I can see. Gee, it looks a little more clear now. Yeah. Never give up.